whakarongo ki te tangi a te korimako. Kōrero flowing out the hooker force. Kaupapa relevant, kaupapa out of bounds, kaupapa exigent, kaupapa paramount. Nā kona whakapiri mai ki te kaupapa tino whakahira hira whakarongo pi kari kari mai. Hare hare mai, o Taringa hare hare mai. We gotta gather up close everybody, gather up close everybody. Kani move that body, kani move that body.
Tēnā koutou katoa e te iwi, anei anō māua, here we are again, myself, Praone Gloin,
and Taria Teanga.
No te wānanga o Aotearoa for this ultra cool podcast, Punua Pāho Taringa. Whakarongo mai, and big ups to the brother Hāwira Kraitiana and the cool team here at Te Ipurau, brother Mōkena and brother Hohepa for that cool track. So yeah, e mihi atu nei, and we're in the second week of our Punua Pāho. And last week we had kupu.
Yep, where we talked about kia ora te whānau,
kia
ora whānau and aroha mai.
And this week our overarching kaupapa for the wiki is iwi o te wiki.
Yes, iwi o te wiki. And this week we will be talking to Ngairo Eruera.
No te iwi from the iwi of
Ngāti Ranginui.
Ngāti Ranginui, no Tauranga Moana.
Tauranga Moana.
Happy to have everybody listening, whether you're on your car, listening on your way to work, or dropping the tamariki off.
At home, chilling out.
And, you know, we're still new to this, so, you know, be kind, don't judge. Tariao, myself and Tariao, we're still in the explorative, experimental stages of doing our Punua Pāho podcasting, but hey, we're enjoying it, and we've got some good feedback from the first one last week, so yeah, and we enjoy doing it. So, e mihi ana kia koutou katoa, and of course brought to you by Te Wānanga Aotearoa. So, e mihi ana. Tēnā tātou.
Tēnā rā tātou.
E te iwi e ki ana te kōrero, ko maua o te maunga, ko tākitimu te waka, ko te awa nui te moana, ko Ngāti Ranginui te iwi, ko tamate ariki nui te tangata. Maua is the mountain, tākitimu is the ancestral canoe. That sounds flash. Te awa nui is the ocean or the sea. Ngāti Ranginui is the iwi, and they're te iwi o te wiki, and tamate ariki nui is the tangata, is the man. Engari ko te tangata I tēnei haora, the man of the moment. We're very lucky to have to talk to both Tariao and I. Is Mr. Ngairo Eruera. Tēnā koe hoa, ngā mihi nui kia koe.
Tēnā koe hoa. Hei te karangamaha tēnā hoki kōrua, e whakawātea nei tēnei wāhanga māku, hei waha I etahi o nā kōrero o te kāinga. Tēnā tātou.
Tēnā rā wāti koe. Just to fill everybody in, from our previous. No, how tēnā kupu previous. I spoke at a kofo last night and I said, I'm trilingual. So I speak te reo, English, and then I make up my own kupu, and that's why I'm trilingual. So that was one of my trilingual kupu.
Kia ora.
E kore pēr tīmoti e whakai. Hoi anō. Here we are, and we have Ngairo here, and just to recap really on the kaupapa. This is week, the wiki tuatoru, ne? Tuarua.
Yeah.
Oh, wiki tuarua. Yes, wiki tuarua. And we, our kaupapa matu is iwi o te wiki, and we pick an iwi out of the hat, the metaphorical hat. And I don't think it's a coincidence that we picked out an iwi from Tauranga Moana. And Ngāti Ranginui is that iwi. And one of our good friends, te tai o ngā kaiako, te reo teacher, I roto I te Wānanga Aotearoa, agreed to speak to us today because that's one of his iwi, Ngāti Ranginui. So, e mihi ana kia koe Ngairo, mau e whakawātea. Ko koe ke te mea e whakawātea ana I a koe ki te kōrero kia mau. And this great thing, technology.
Yes.
Ei Taria.
Good old Skype.
Yeah. We're on the microphones here in our studio in the bustling metropolis of Te Awamutu. And Ngairo's joining us on Skype. So, kia ora tātou.
Kia ora. I'd just like to mention to quickly reacquaint myself with Skype. I've been using all other manner of hangarau, FaceTime, texting and all this other flash stuff. And oh yeah, that's right. Skype was around before all that. Kia ora tātou.
Tika. Yeah, no, tika tai, because I know in the Wānanga we use the Zoom quite a bit.
Yeah,
so
Zoom,
Skype's sort of become redundant. So here we are, iwi o te wiki, and we're going to have a conversation about your iwi e ho,
Pai.
Ngāti Ranginui, and I wasn't stealing your thunder when I opened up with the pepeha, but I thought that might be a good place for us to start our kōrero rero today.
Pai. Beautiful. Yeah, I guess as we're going around using our pepeha, that's one of our pepeha from home. We talk about our maunga mauao. And I guess while we're talking about mauao, so mauao stems, that name stems from one of the kōrero for our mountain. It's also known by other names. Moao is one name that I've heard, and Maunganui, of course, which was the mountain was named Maunganui when Tamatea arrived in Tauranga Moana. Anyway, Mauao, if we go back to the story of Mauao, according to one line of history, used to sit out in a forest area back in the ranges called Hautere.
That's on the Ngāti Raukawa borders too, bro.
On the borders. Whananga on that side. Might be a Ngāti Raukawa maunga in then.
I won't put a claim in, cuz.
I'll see how our whananga from Hauraki go with their claim. Anyway, we'll move on from that kōrero. Yeah, so he was originally up in the Hautere Ranges. And Mauao didn't have a name at that time, as I understand. Was known as the Nameless Mountain, but he had a bit of affection for another maunga called Pūwhenua. And unfortunately for Mauao, Pūwhenua was in love with Otane Wainuku, which was another maunga. Yes, I've been told it was the eternal triangle. Mauao decided to end it all, and he asked the Patupaerehe that lived in and around Hautere to take him out one night out to the Moana, which they agreed to, and they set this time and got going. One of our karakia from home talks about that haerenga, e heka tuake ki runga rā, whiti ki tāua hei tamatu, uhuea ki te uru kumea ki te tonga hiki nuku hiki rangi, which is one of the hari that the Patupaerehe used to drag Mauao up to sea. Anyway, they got as far as where he is, or close to where he is presently, and they were caught by the dawn. And of course, our Patupaerehe, their power lay in the darkness of night, and when the sun was starting to come up, they took off home. And then Mauao was fixed in place once the sun came up. And so Mauao, meaning caught by the light. So Mauao te maunga, Tauranga te Moana, o tātou tipuna, tai whanake te tangata. Every iwi uses their tipuna and claims them as the tangata of the Moana. Engari, ko tō mātou, ko tai whanake, he tipuna no mātou, one of our ancestors from Ngāti Ranginui.
Kia ora, kia ora. Tēnā koe hoa i tēnā kōrero about Mauao. And taku pātai is about the name Maunganui. So where does Maunganui come from?
Ka pai. So our kōrero around Tamatea coming in from Hawaii, part of the history for Tākitimu Waka is that they landed at Tauranga Moana. And then Maunganui, upon seeing Maunganui, it reminded him of one of the peaks back in Hawaii that he had left, called Maunganui. And so from that point, when Tamatea Arikinui arrived in Tauranga Moana, the mountain was known as Maunganui.
Kia ora.
Ka pai.
Also, the Pūwhenua that I talked about before was another peak in Hawaii that reminded Tamatea of Pūwhenua in Hawaii, and so he named Pūwhenua as well. So the Mount Maunganui, or Mount Manganui that everyone says these days, its history is set in when Tamatea first arrived in Tauranga Moana.
Ka pai.
Ka pai.
Ranginui, so Ranginui is one of the iwi of Tauranga Moana. Is Ranginui a mokopuna of Tamatea? Or where does Ranginui fit in with the Tamatea?
Ka pai. So when Tamatea Ariki of Tākitimu arrived in Tauranga Moana, according to our kōrero, he came in through the harbour mouth and then came to a point closer into the inner harbour.
Went past Bobby's?
Yeah. The original Bobby's, I think.
Bobby's Seafood e te iwi. If you haven't been there in Tauranga, it's a must go. Sorry, I just had to put that in.
Tika, one of our many landmarks, probably the landmark.
Yeah.
So they were cruising around in the inner harbour and went to beach the waka to do their various things. And as they were backing their waka into the whenua, some of the tangata whenua at the time called out to the waka and asked, who is the ariki on that waka? And they yelled back, Tamatea. And then they exclaimed, Tamatea mai tawhiti. Tamatea who travelled from across the water.
Okay.
Tamatea mai tawhiti, who was, according to another set of history, was also known as Tamatea Arikinui. He had Rongo Kako. Rongo Kako married Muri Whenua, and then they had Tamatea known by various names, Tamatea Eruera, Tamatea Pōkai Whenua, Tamatea Pōkai Moana. These names, Pōkai Whenua, Pōkai Moana, this Tamatea picked up due to his travels around Aotearoa.
Kia ora. Kia ora. I saw Tariao's eyebrows raised when you said Tamatea Eruera. I'm sure she's quite inquisitive.
Tino kōrero tēnā. Circumcision, te kōrero ra. Anyway, Tamatea, some of the kōrero from here links us through to the east coast, to tipuna such as Te Ono no Iwaho. From Te Ono no Iwaho descends Ranginui's elder brother, Whaini, and then we link quite closely in there into Mātātua. Some of the disputing kōrero say that Kahungunu was next from another one of the wives of Tamatea Eruera, who was Iwipupu. Regardless, Tamatea Eruera, Tamatea Pōkai Whenua married Iwipupu and then Kahungunu, and then there's some more of our links through to Ngāti Pro, Ngāti Kahungunu, down through to Te Wairarapa. And then there was another sister of Iwipupu, who was Ihu Parapara, and that's where Ranginui was born.
Oh, kia. So Ihu Parapara is Ranginui's mother.
Aye.
The mother of Ranginui. And Ihu Parapara and Iwipupu are sisters.
Aye. There's a lot of competing...
Wow. Keeping it close.
Quite a lot of competing history as to whether they were sisters or as to whether they were from separate mothers.
Kia ora.
But that's our version at home, and that's the version we talk about.
Bye.
Maybe give a bit of a kōrero about where the tribal homelands, I guess, of Ngāti Ranginui are today in Tauranga Moana. Because I know a lot of people out there who don't know Tauranga Moana and wouldn't know much about Ngāti Ranginui. So maybe if you have a kōrero about a couple of those places.
Ka pai. One of the kōrero from our koraua who's passed away, Manu Te Pere, who in his time was known as our historian. He's got a kōrero mai Hairini ki Tauranga, ki te tōnga o te rā. So Hairini is one of our Ngāti Ranginui marae in an area of town called Ohauiti, close to another area called Maunga Tapu, if you know your geography. And then from there down to the city centre, over to the west coast, up to the ridge line along the kaimais and bordering Hauraki. That's known generally as Ngāti Ranginui area. Prior to the arrival of Ngāti Pukenga, everything west from Hairini to Tauranga was known as Ngaiterangi. And then Ngāti Pukenga, another one of our main iwi, came in just a little bit later and set themselves up there. But yeah, all three of our iwi, that's us.
Kia ora. Hea e tahi kōrero, whakatau kōrero. What are some of the sayings pertinent to Ngāti Ranginui? Either pepehea or whakatauki perhaps? What are some of the any of those sort of kōrero?
I guess one kōrero that springs to mind was a kōrero that we linked to one of our tipuna tūpaia, and he was the tipuna that was around when the tono for Te Kingitanga was going around.
Kia ora.
And when that tono arrived to Tauranga Moana, he was one of the tipuna that was asked whether he would take up the mantle. And his reply was something in the way of ko tōku maunga, a maunga nui, ka mātārangi, ki moehau, mai tūhua ki whakaari, e moana pāpaku, he kōkō tuangi, Tauranga Moana, Tauranga tangata, Tauranga herenga waka. And similar in character, I guess, that kōrero to some of the other replies as the tono for the Kingitanga went around to various rangatira, just demarcating where his mana lay, and Tupaia as the rangatira of the time in Tauranga Moana, that was where he was happy to stay. I guess from his point of view, he realised his limitations, and that was where his mana and his presence was required. Koeno, tira kōrero.
Kia ora.
I guess if we go back to Tai Whanake, who was mentioned earlier, Maua o te Maunga, Tauranga te Moana, Tai Whanake te tangata, there's a kōrero around two korowai that he had, Pāroro Uru and Pāroro Tai, and these were korowai that, so when Tai Whanake used to live on a pā up on Maua, he would hang up either one of those korowai to let his iwi know that if it was Pāroro Uru, they were all to go inland and collect kai, bird snaring, that type of thing, eeling. And if it was paroro tai, they would hang up, then they knew that they were out on fishing expeditions, kohi kai moana.
Wee. Bro, I wish I could do that, hang my washing up and my iwi goes and gets me a kai. I'll be in there.
I'll tell you what, I hang my washing up and I get complaints from the neighbours.
Oh, nah, man, that'll be cool. Hang my t-shirt up and then that means go get me some tuna.
Makers.
Oh, no, Tariao. I'd like tuna.
Tuna.
Yeah, Tariao was... His will be Macca's, she reckons.
Koki, kānga pira.
Yeah, well, these days we hang one up, we go out to Bobby's.
Geez, Bobby's is getting some free promotion on Punua Pāho.
Why?
I tēnei rā. Just to unpack too, e te iwi, e whakarongo mai nā, those of you that are listening and you heard Ngairo make reference to that pepeha, I guess, of tūpaia in relation to the kingitanga or the setting up of the Māori King movement. And this is when Matene was journeying through the land and each sort of rangatira or ariki from every iwi he visited, they said a proverbial expression, and within those words were encapsulated their thoughts on first their support of the kaupapa and whether they'd be able to uphold the office if they were to become king. And so yeah, they've done it in a very, very clever, our tūpuna, very, very, very clever. They were. So koina e tahi kōrero e te iwi, kōrero about some of the tribal boundaries of Ngāti Ranginui of Tauranga Moana. And te kōrero mō...
Mauao. Te maunga Mauao.
And it had another name too, did you say Muao?
Moao.
And then later on, Maunganui.
Maunganui,
named by Tamatea Ariki Nui, who came on Takitimu Waka.
Yeah, Mai Hawaiki. And that was interesting to me that he got his name Tamatea Maitawhiti in Tauranga Moana. Oh, yeah.
So that's something I've picked up a lot of things today.
Yeah.
That I didn't know. And of course, Bobby got a few plugs. And I found it very interesting. So, tēnā rā wātikui, thank you for joining us today and launching our iwi o te wiki. He whakaro anō o Tariao.
He pātai tāku. Pātai anō.
It's going to be the $1 million question.
Yep. But ko tētai o ku tino waiata ko te Tauranga Moana. No whea tērā waiata, nā waitito, o Yanga kōrero?
That's a blinking good question there, Tariao. I've thought that, but I didn't think of asking that now. So, he tika tai. Let's put Ngairo on the spot and see if he knows.
Where's Matua Kūkara when you need him? From what I remember, they were a couple, Bob and Lorraine Rawiri.
Rawiri. Kia Bob Rawiri. Nana.
Nā Rawa.
Yeah.
Te waiata I tito. Gee, I couldn't put a timeline as to when it was composed, but I understand they were the composers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kia ora. Tēnā rā wātikui. Ni you go e te iwi, another little gem for you. Bob and Koina Tana Wahine, that's his wife. Lorraine Rawiri. Composers of Tauranga Moana. Maua o maunga. Iau hei.
Ngāti Ranginui, ngai te rangi, e mihine, e taunei. Tēnā rā oti koe, ka noho te waiata e hoa hei ki naki, hei tautoko, i nā kōrero kua puta i tēnei rā. Thank you very much for sharing your time with us and with all of our listeners. Ki tēnei punua pāho, nā te wānanga o te ro. Taringa, whakarongo mai.
Our waiata of the week will be Tauranga Moana. We just heard it before, just a little snippet of it. It was written by Bob and Lorraine Rawiri. Kia ora, Tariao. What better waiata to support what was said in our iwi o te wiki discussion than Tauranga Moana. So, e te iwi, whakarongo mai. Tauranga Moana, maua o maunga, Ngāti
Well, doesn't that waiata just get you moving in its old school flavours?
It's like one of my favourite songs.
Yeah, it's a
Beautiful.
harmony that stays with you, a melody that stays with you. So, e mihi ana ki a koutou katoa te iwi. Hope you enjoy te waiata o te wiki. It's one of those old-time iwi anthems on those iwi anthems solid gold hits.
Hope you all got something out of Ngairo's kōrero because it was beautiful. I know I learnt a lot.
Yeah.
And I do every time we have a kai kōrero in.
Tika.
Yeah.
And I suppose too, just so everybody sort of thinks on another level, we're using te reo through the podcasts and things like that. So there's lots of kōrero and kupu that come out. And while you're listening, it's good to take note of those sorts of things. Yeah. And tune in e te iwi next week. Kia tā tāua kaupapa tērā wiki, tareo?
Ko tā tātou kaupapa ko Once Upon a Timer.
Once Upon a Timer. And in Once Upon a Timer, we share a story, no te ao Māori. So, we'll leave you on the edge of your seats for a whole week. So you'll be waiting, anticipating what our paki waitara is going to be next week, Once Upon a Timer. Engari, e mihi tonu na kia koe Ngairo, ko māua tēnei, ko tari ao te anga, e mihi atu nei i te punua pāho, podcast Taringa nā te wānanga o te aroa. Tēnā koutou katoa.
Tuit!
Yo, whakarongo ki te tangi a te korimako. Kōrero flowing out the hook of force. Kaupapa relevant, kaupapa out of bounds, kaupapa exigent, kaupapa paramount. Nā ko nā whakapiri mai ki te kaupapa tino whakahira whakarongo pi kari mai. Hare mai, o Taringa hare mai. We gotta gather up close everybody. Gather up close everybody. Kani move that body. Kani move that body.
Taringa. He mea tuku nā te wānanga o Aotearoa. To listen to more episodes, search for us on your podcast app and subscribe. Taringa, whakarongo mai.